Well, hi there! Got myself 5 new movies, so I figured I'd show off. Movie pickups. You know how these work. Let's start. First movie. First movie I got is actually brand new. That's right, it came out this year. I do buy some modern stuff too, at times. Now the real reason I actually got this movie is cause it stars Bill Skarsgård and it looked kind of fun, and also, I gotta say I'm kind of tempted to watch the Crow remake. I figured I'd do my own review of that movie once it hits some kind of streaming service and I can actually watch it. I haven't heard a lot of positive stuff about it, but it has Bill Skarsgård as the main character, and this movie also has Bill Skarsgård, so I thought this would be kind of a softer landing on the Crow. And to be honest, this looked really fun, so that's why I got this, and it's a movie called Boy Kills World.
Oh, that's Dave. Yeah, he's got a lot of issues. You can take him. Good luck.
And you know what? After watching this was a fun movie. It wasn't like the greatest movie, but it was a fun movie. Fun, stupid action movie. Bill Skarsgård is Boy. His character's name is Boy. I'm not talking genders here or anything. His character's name is Boy. He is Boy also, but he's called Boy. Anyway, this is a post-apocalyptic action movie with some humor thrown in the mix and also gore. A lot of gore. Unfortunately, it's mostly CGI gore, which I'm not the biggest fan, but I was cool with it in this movie, you know. Screw it. This is just kind of a light entertainment, and you know, you watch it and you move on. So yeah, I was good.
Right.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Seriously? Oh, fuck!
Skarsgård actually starts out as little boy in this movie, and then his family gets killed, and his ears gets punctured, and his tongue gets cut out. So he's deaf, dumb, and mute. I don't know if people these days use the dumb part. I think that's kind of offensive. Well, he's deaf and mute. There's also Famke Janssen, that chick. She's really hot, but she's also a terrible dictator in this, so, you know, he kills Boy's family and Boy vows to get revenge. So luckily he runs into this old Asian guy who teaches him kung fu in the middle of jungle. Kind of reminded me of Kickboxer. Maybe that's some kind of homage to Kickboxer, I'm not really sure, but or maybe the people who made this haven't even seen Kickboxer. But the training sequence at the start had some kind of Kickboxer vibes. I don't know, I might be reaching. I'm gonna pretend that was an homage to Jean-Claude Van Damme and Kickboxer. Ooh, but even though Boy is mute, he does have a voice. I mean, he can't talk, but he has his inner voice. He hears, you know, his thoughts and all that. Funny thing is though, it's not Bill's voice. It's he remembers when he was a kid playing this fighting game with his sister, so he remembers the announcer's voice. So the announcer guy is doing all the thoughts in Bill's head. Boy's head. Billy Boy.
Okay, you soggy cereal shit pirate.
And I can't pinpoint who the hell that voice belongs to, but it's so familiar. It's some kind of comic, more comedic actor or something like that. It is kind of funny, the voice. Although I have to say that towards the end, when this movie gets a bit more serious, the funny voice is a bit more distracting than actually funny. They should have kept it light all the way through, in my opinion, if they're gonna go with voice like that. I don't think it worked there, but still, overall, this movie was just fast-paced, fun, gory action, and I really enjoyed it. It was good. It didn't blow my mind or anything, but good, modern action movie. Anyway, I'm gonna move on. Any of you people out there know who the director Gaspar Noé is? He's a French director. I think he was like French-Argentinian or something, I don't know, but mostly I guess French. I've seen one of his movies long time ago that was called Irreversible, which is a fun movie. Don't show it to your family, it's hard watch. I need to get that into my collection. Anyway, ever since I saw that, I always kind of wanted to see more from the guy, but I never really got to him. But now I did. I found one of his movies and I figured, well, fuck it, I'm buying it, because I really loved Irreversible, even though it is a tough watch. Well, I gotta say, even though Irreversible had at least one scene that was probably tougher than anything in this movie still wasn't like a fun watch. This was kind of disturbing too. Yeah, this was at places so hard to watch that while I was jacking off, I almost couldn't hit my climax.
If you couldn't dance, what would you do? Suicide?
No, I wasn't jacking off. I just couldn't come up with any better joke that ends up with the climax. Anyway, so Climax, it's a movie about a dance group, French dance group, and they're practicing for this competition in New York, something like that. Don't really care, they never got there, because this movie actually takes place during one evening, night. It actually starts when the group is having their rehearsal. They show the whole dance routine they do, and they don't cut even once, and the whole scene is probably like 15-20 minutes. The dance routine is like 10 minutes or something, and that looks complicated as fuck, so I tip my hat to the actors. But after that, they kind of mingle together, talking to each other, and the camera's just going around, because after the dance rehearsal, they decide to have a little party, you know, celebrate. So they have, you know, a bowl of punch there, a little bit of drinking, a little bit of dancing, a little bit of listening to music and all that. So yeah, the camera's going all around the dance floor, watching people just talk and do stuff, and then there's a couple of cuts. This is a 90-minute movie. The first 45 minutes, it's basically just going around the dance floor, and then at some point they do introduce some cuts. They cut into a few people who are talking about, guys talking about which girls look great, and girls talking about periods or Pokemons or curtains or no. People are talking like, you know, normal day-to-day shit. Anyway, so it's a fun evening. Everyone's happy. You know, there's like 20 characters, 25 characters, I don't know. A lot of actors in this movie. It's just insane the amount of actors this has. I mean, it's not like huge amount like there's football stadium full of people or anything like that, but none of them are like extras. Everyone's kind of character in this movie in itself. So, but once we hit the 45-minute mark, one of the girls in the group is just standing there. She has a dress, and she just suddenly pees on the floor. Doesn't even flinch. Just doing it like a champ, you know. Hey, I peed. Who gives a shit? That's when I was like, well, that is normal when you're pissed drunk, so I wasn't still worried at that time. But then the other chick, one other chick, there's a lot of chicks in this, starts talking like, did someone put something in the punch? You know, everyone's getting kind of crazy, slowly, you know. And turns out someone did drug the punch, and they've all been drinking that, and after halfway through, once shit hits the fan, the movie is basically one long shot. I checked from Google, it was like 43 minute long shot. No cuts, nothing. People are just slowly going out of their minds. They're walking to the dance floor, they're walking to the backstage area, and the camera's just following. People are talking, there's stuff happening, things get violent, things get
Ce qui ne me tue pas me rend plus forte.
fucky, sexy, not exactly sexy, but they're doing sex there. They're having sex, and there's some fighting. Also, there's one girl whose head gets light on fire. Insane, no cuts. 43 minute long shot. First of all, planning shot that long, it's insane. Everything has to go according to plan, you know? You can't slip up, or you gotta do the whole thing again, set some girl's head on fire again. But I watched an interview from this. This one has some extras, so yeah, I watched an interview, and turns out the director, Gaspar Noé, they didn't really even rehearse. He just kind of said that, go, you know. I'm guessing they got some kind of, you know, you do this and you do that, and over there your head gets set on fire. But everything else, you know, all the dialogue and all that, apparently they were mostly ad-lib. So kudos to the actors, they really did a good job in this, and I heard this was shot in just like 3 or 4 weeks or something. This was just like a quick project for the director. That's insane. But yeah, once the shit hits the fan, it does get dark, it gets really depressing. It was this was just not a fun movie. Never heard of Climax depressing you. I mean, I've heard post-nut clarity, but I've never heard of post-nut depression, and this movie is like post-nut depression. Well, I'm guessing we're nodding. Sometimes you might get depressed afterwards. Really hard watch, but if you're interested in the subject and all, I do recommend this. It's really artsy film. There are some aspects you could look more philosophically, and weird kind of texts about death and what it is, and I really dug this movie. It's trippy, it's depressing, it's not a fun movie, but yeah, I really dug this. This was really good. I'm just gonna move on. Next movie I got is one that I wanted to see for the longest time, but well, now I got it, so now I saw it. It actually came out 71, so yeah, I've been waiting to see this movie for a long time. I wasn't even born in 71, but I always heard bits and pieces about this, but never pulled the trigger until now. Now I've seen it, and gotta say, I love this, and the movie is probably one of the best driving movies ever. Vanishing Point. Now in Vanishing Point, Barry Newman stars as Kowalski. He's apparently the last American hero. Yeah, it says it behind here, so fuck you, Avengers. Anyway, he sets out to prove that he can drive from Denver to San Francisco in just 15 hours. That's, I'm guessing, insane. I have no idea how long distance that is. I don't know American geography or any geography that well, so, but I'm guessing That's a long way to go. It's a long way to go and a short time to get there. Funnily enough, I was kind of expecting this to be more like Smokey and the Bandit. That theme song I was, just singing there was from Smokey and the Bandit. But nope. This was weird. This was a chase from start to finish, kind of like Mad Max Fury Road. There were some pauses, obviously. It couldn't be just driving. How long was this? 106 minutes. So yeah, there were some quiet times too.
Now we'll get him in here. Thank you, son. That's got him. Thank you.
But what really made this unique is that this wasn't just kind of like a chase movie where you're running from the cops. I mean, this did have a lot of that, but this felt almost like spiritual journey. Yeah, it was a really weird vibe throughout this whole movie. I really dug it. You see some flashbacks from Kowalski, what's happened, like in his life before, and apparently a lot. That dude has been around. Just when the ending hit, while it might come off as really depressing and dark, it also felt kind of fulfilling. Like, it's hard to explain, because this movie, even though it takes place in the 70s and it's a road trip movie, chase movie across America, it felt more like at times like it was some medieval fantasy where hero is on a journey and then runs into all kinds of wacky characters all the time. This kind of had that feel to it, because Kowalski, he was driving, through states and he was running into weird people. There was this old guy who wanted to race him. He came out of nowhere and the race ended so abruptly. It was woo. Also, there were two gay guys whose car had broken down, so he gave him a lift, but they tried to rob him, and it had such a weird, surreal feel to the whole thing. And then there's this Jesus group in the middle of desert, and there's a naked lady riding a motorcycle in the middle of desert, and I'm not sure if I want to say biblical, but some kind of spiritual journey feel to it. I mean, there was also this radio DJ who was this black guy who was blind, and he was kind of guiding Kowalski through his trip. He knew he was driving because he had a police scanner, so the blind leading the blind, because Kowalski can see, but he doesn't know what's up. But the blind guy, he's listening to the police scanner, so he's reporting to Kowalski.
The vicious traffic squad cars are after our lone driver, the last American hero, the electric centaur, the demigod, the super driver of the Golden West.
Just the whole movie overall, it just had a really spiritual feel to it. I mean, this came out in 71, the 60s had just finished, so I'm guessing some hippies made this. I don't know who made this. Directed by Richard C. Sarafian. I have no idea who that is. But fantastic movie, and I think this movie made 70s Dodge Challenger probably the most wanted car for a long time. I mean, this was good advertisement for 1970 Dodge Challenger. Loved the car, loved the movie. This was fantastic. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna watch this a few times more. Oh, and this actually had US version and UK version, and apparently the UK version is 10 minutes longer. And I watched the UK version and I heard they cut out the scene with this hitchhiker, which was near the end. I thought it was really fucking weird thing to cut off. That scene kind of felt like it made the whole story make more sense, and the ending and all. I just feel like that scene was really important, so it's weird that they cut it out. Just something I want to point out, but Vanishing Point. This is 70s car chase movies. They always ruled. They were so goddamn good. No CGI bullshit, just real cars getting totaled and, real people, and really loved this movie. This was great. I really enjoyed it. Next movie I got is, when I got this, that was a kind of weird, almost scary coincidence when I actually ordered this. You know the actor Chris Christopherson, probably best known for modern audience. Well, it's not actually that modern anymore, but he was Whistler in Blade movies. The old guy. He just passed away a little while ago. It was a Saturday evening when he passed away, I believe. But weirdly, I ordered this movie that stars Chris Christopherson that same Saturday, but morning, just hours before he passed. That's I don't know, it just kind of makes you think, It's a weird coincidence. I got this movie, loved it, and I'm guessing now that the guy passed, I gotta buy a couple more movies, because I really always enjoyed when I saw Chris Christopherson in anything. I haven't seen him in a lot of things, well, now that I think about it, Blade and this. I've seen him in some things, but I don't remember what they were. Anyway, this is probably the best known movie from him, from what I gather. I'm not sure, but not counting Blade movies, I do believe this is his most known movie. And it's a movie that's made from a song. Actually, the song came first, and they made this movie about the song, and it's Convoy.
The only things in life that count are fast trucks, fast women, and fast food.
You know that old song? It's great. I actually listen to that every now and then. I think it's on my Spotify. It is on my Spotify list. I love that song, you know. We got a great big convoy. I'm not gonna sing anymore. That's second time I've singed in this video, so sorry for your eardrums. But yeah, Convoy, starring Chris Christopherson, Ali MacGraw, Burt Young, and Ernest Borgnine. Killer cast. Ali MacGraw, I hadn't seen her, or maybe I have, but I didn't remember her from anything, but she was great in this too. And Burt Young and Ernest Borgnine, always loved those two. Burt Young probably best known for being Paulie in Rocky movies. Ernest Borgnine, well, I don't know where people know him best, but I know him probably. He was in was it Super Snooker or something? It was that Terence Hill Cup movie. He's been in a ton of movies. Anyway, Convoy. It's a movie about truck drivers who get fed up with dirty cops and politicians and all that, and so they kind of make a convoy of trucks.
I swear we got a goddamn convoy. Look at us, you crazy thing.
I gotta say, this movie kinda had a weird starting point. I really enjoyed this movie, but there were 3 truck drivers, they got tickets, and the cop was dirty, played by Ernest Borgnine. The cop, Chris Christopherson, is kinda the main truck driver in this, who's the, main character. Okay, so the cop, he decides not to give them tickets, because they'd lose some kind of license or something. I don't remember what it was, or maybe that affected their insurance pays or something. Don't really remember that detail that great, but anyway, they pay for the cop. He puts it in his own pocket. So later on, they go in the cafe, and turns out the cop's there too, or comes there afterwards, and there starts a fight. Truckers are fighting cops, and they beat up the cops, and then they start driving. And they don't stop. And throughout that drive, their convoy actually grows. There's more truckers coming all the time. They're just driving across America. So you beat up cops and then you start a convoy.
Son of a bitch.
Although, you know, they're protesting too. There are reporters who are driving next to trucks at one point, so they're interviewing all the truck drivers, and all the truck drivers are telling things they're, fed up, like crooked politicians and, crooked cops, and there's also, black drivers who are tired of racism. This came out in 78, so, things weren't like they are these days. I'm not saying there isn't racism these days, but nothing like in the 70s. So yeah, basically they're driving, and Chris Christopherson's call name is Rubber Ducky. And that's kind of legendary truck driver name from the song and, well, from this movie too. I don't know, it says action drama here, but there was some action too, but there were also some comedic elements to it also, and it was surprisingly entertaining movie for a bunch of trucks just driving across America. The cops are trying to stop them and all that. I don't really know what else to say about this movie, but I really enjoyed it. This was a fantastic movie in my opinion. This came out 78, Vanishing Point 71. They make the best goddamn driving movies. And I gotta say, now that I've seen a couple more 70s movies, and they've always been so great, I'm kinda starting to flip. I'm starting to flip. I was always 80s guy. 80s was the best decade. 70s is kind of catching up. I might be 70s guy. I mean, there's a lot of stuff from the 70s I haven't seen. I've seen a lot, but there's a lot I haven't seen and I need to see. It wasn't any, PC bullshit. They were honest movies. Honest movies. It was director who made a movie that was his vision, and that's it. Fuck you, I'm making my movie. This is the 70s. I do what I want. Fuck off. Chris Christopherson. I gotta get more of his movies. And now it's time for the last movie of this video, and this is like one of those movies you see probably once a decade, maybe not even that often. It connects with you. It really hits you on another level, and it just makes you feel. This was just, whoever made this movie really understood men, what men's needs are, just understands the whole struggle being a man. This movie just captured perfectly the essence of being a man. This movie was, while I was watching this, it was like someone understood me for the first time in ever. Someone just kind of took my soul and put it in a movie form. It's gonna be really hard to talk about, because this movie was just, this was probably the most beautiful movie I've ever seen. This movie stars a man who, this movie stars a man who is living a life that every man wants. It's like someone put your dreams on screen. When I was watching this movie, it was like, yes, that's it, that's me, that's all I ever wanted. Why can't I have that? It's not asking too much. It's a man who lives in a post-apocalyptic world, and he's the last man on earth who can still make women pregnant. It's a movie called Hell Comes to Frogtown.
Barter to Leroy.
Private Barter?
Well, yes, but...
Shut your hole!
Starring Roddy Piper, whose mission is to make as many women as possible pregnant. I promised I wouldn't cry. Also starring Sandal Bergman, who's probably best known from Conan the Barbarian. She was that warrior chick. What was it? Valeria? Yeah, she was Valeria. I forgot the character's name for a bit there. But yeah, the movie starts when Roddy Piper's character Sam Hell is actually captured, and they do some medical tests, and turns out Roddy Piper's little boys can still swim.
Mr. Hellman, I can understand why you're so popular with the ladies. You've left a string of pregnancies everywhere you've been.
So fact.
And they actually put this kind of a chastity belt on Roddy Piper. He can't escape, because if he tries to escape, it starts to beep, and then it gives him some kind of, I don't know, electric shocks in his balls or something, but it looks painful. I don't know why he wants to escape, that's beyond me, but he tries. But there is still like this little flap so he can, do the deed, which is why they captured him and really want to hold on to him.
How am I supposed to,
There's the flap.
Anyway, so Sandal Bergman's character grabs Sam Hell and they go on a mission to save women from Frog Town, because there are these evil mutants, frogs. And they're not all evil, they're like irregular people, but they're just mutated and they look like frogs. But some of them are evil, so they captured these women. They're going on a rescue mission. I swear, I almost started to cry when on the driveway there, where the girls are captured, Sandal Bergman says to Roddy Piper, possibly the greatest line said in any movie ever. It's the words every guy wants to hear. I don't know why we can't hear it, but well, it's not a fair place. So they're driving there. Sandal Bergman's character says to Roddy Piper,
we're gonna get him out, and then you're gonna get him pregnant.
I don't think there's been better writing in anything I've ever seen before. That rubbed my soul the right way. But yeah, in all seriousness, this was really fun movie. This was great movie. I love this. It's 80s B-movie, sci-fi action movie, which has a lot of comedic elements. I'd say this is almost like action comedy or something. Sci-fi, post-apocalyptic action adventure comedy. Something like that, with mutants. And yeah, I was just really entertained. This came out 88, I believe, something like that. It is really 80s, low-budget sci-fi action. This was actually one of those movies where look at the cast, and you can just see everyone was having a blast while doing this movie. You can sense it from the screen. This is my, when I want to feel good, I pop this in, I watch this. I'm probably gonna watch this 50 times more before I kick the bucket. It's so goddamn good. Stupid, dumb, bad 80s sci-fi flick. God damn it, it's so entertaining and fun. I want to watch this again. Right now. I should stop this video, go watch this again. All the one-liners in this.
Eat lead, froggies!
They're so kind of terrible, but because it's Roddy Piper. Roddy Piper, wrestler, he has that kind of delivery that he can make it sound really cool. Roddy Piper, he's just really underrated when people talk about actors who deliver one-liners best, They always come up with like Schwarzenegger or something, but yeah, Roddy Piper actually had talent for that too. Unfortunately, he passed away, That was sad, because he was one of the greatest wrestlers ever, and just an awesome character. Just as a person, you can watch any interview of Roddy Piper and he just always comes off as really entertaining guy. I do have to say though, when you think about 80s low budget sci-fi action flicks, you usually think about nudity and gore. And this one, it did have one pair of titties, might have been two, I can't remember that one girl's titties, if she showed them or not, but this didn't have that much excessive nudity, although Sandal Bergman, throughout this movie, you can't see her titties, but she's basically probably 80% of the movie in some kind of weirdly different sexy lingeries. I don't know where she's getting new lingerie all the time in post-apocalyptic desert, but she's getting, and I'm not complaining. Wooden acting, just entertaining fun. If you feel like 80s trash is your thing, well, this is a cult classic that's got your name written all over it. But yeah, while Climax, Vanishing Point, and Convoy were definitely the better made movies and better actors overall and all that, this was the funnest movie in this pile, and I really enjoyed this, and I'm gonna watch this way more often than any of those. It gives me hope for a better tomorrow. The nukes might drop, but you know what? I just might be the lucky one who's the last man on Earth who can still make women pregnant. I didn't even know that was my lifelong dream, but now I do know. So now I'm less worried about nuclear war. Bring on the nukes, bitches. I'm ready to pregnate some women. Some post-apocalyptic women. Anyway, this was this movie pickups. Fuck off, and I'll fuck off, and we'll meet back here when I upload more Crap, I guess I'm gonna go now. Fingers crossed that someone pushes the red button and we get a nuclear war. I'm gonna live my dream.